Hello everyone, John Hidalgo here, working on building the Batcave. This is going to be a miniature set for our upcoming film, Batman Versus Supergirl, where Bruce Wayne plays poker with Clark Kent and loses, and as a result, he has to babysit an 8-year-old Supergirl. So, yeah, next time lead cards, huh? Okay. So I had shot a bunch of video on the making of this kit, the Batpod, which I decided not to edit it all together because I've got a second kit that I'm going to build, and there were a number of lessons that I learned from the previous two videos that I did. One of them being the cocoon, and the other being the what was the other one that I did? Oh, the intro video. So there were some lessons that I learned from that because I hadn't seen what my footage looked like, and I hadn't gotten the GoPro yet, so I decided not to, since I have another, I'm not going to do a full video of the build of that. I'm going to show you the kit that I built, and I'll show you, and I'm going to go over a few things about it, but I'm going to do another one now that I have the GoPro, and can get a shot of me, looking down, of me doing the work. I will do that instead. So let's talk about what worked and what didn't on this guy here. This is the Batpod. So the figure itself came in as a separate little kit, which had a standing Batman. You probably can't see it, it's over there. And this one that's riding the Batpod. I will have to say this is probably one of the most fiddly kits that I can recall making. It doesn't look like there's a lot, but all the parts are really teeny tiny, and so it takes I was impatient with it. I will admit that and this is a thing with, I think, all model makers, is that it's really hard to get impatient with, and I'm just showing this as I talk, it's really hard to get impatient in building a kit, because you want to, like, you're really excited and anxious to see how it goes together and to have it completed and to have that sense of accomplishment when you're done. But sometimes that works against you. This wasn't too bad, but it in that regard. But I could have stood to take my time a little bit more. The assembly, I would liken this to building a small sailing ship, and I've actually built one, the Half Moon, and it wasn't as difficult as this. I had primed it and painted it beforehand, which I've done in the past with kits that I'm not sure how they're going to go together. And some things that works for, some things better to hold off on. I think that for the future, on the next build, all of the internal parts, I may prime it first, or put parts of it together, sand it where I've got like center seams, which honestly you really can't see on here, so I may not stress about it too much. But some of the pieces, when I went to glue them, of course the glue is going to break down the paint a little bit, so that that can get to be a problem. You have to do lots of touch-ups like I did. One of the pieces, and this is going to be kind of random, I'm just going to talk about stuff as I find them here. This little assembly with this front support, this one right here, is it's not well marked, and it could slide back and forth, so it's really hard to tell where it's supposed to be, and you kind of actually have to get this. There's a bar in here that then once you get that bar in, it kind of it looks like it, yeah, it's this little bar right here. You probably can't see it too well, but once you get that in, that kind of tells you how far back this piece here should go. That was probably one of the trickier things. That and the parts being so small and so fiddly. So it's kind of, it is a tricky kit to build. I painted the tires with Panzer Ace's dark rubber, and I might have done a little. I don't know that I really did do any touch up. On the Batmobile I did a touch up with a light rubber to get the treads up, but I don't think I did it on this one, and I may not have needed it now that I think about it. I might have done some black panel liner for the treads. So this was, I'm glad I have a second kit that I'm going to do, because you really kind of need some practice with this kit first before. It's like you need a practice kit and then you need the real kit. And I've recently on various Facebook groups have seen where model makers are buying 2 or even 3 of the same kit at one time, and I was wondering, why do they have multiple kits? And I think it's for this reason, that you build one to learn the kit, and then you build the real kit that you want. I'm going to set this down here. And then I want to show some stuff on the instructions. For the most part, and for the black parts on the structure, I used NATO black. and then a silver for like the arm guards and the engine housing. For the most part, the instructions are pretty straightforward. I think on the next one, I'm going to prime but not paint this whole series of assemblies. And I think it'll go easier, be less messy. There were some things on this wheel assembly here. Let's see if I can show it to you. I'm probably not doing a really good job. There was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but trying to figure out the wheel assembly. It's like some parts on how they did this were really, they did a really good job of like, the part could only go one way. And there were one or two places like, I wish they would have like taken a little more care to put it together. Now I think I actually have, I did start on this a little bit. I've got the tires painted on this next one here, and it looks like, from what I can see, is that I already have the parts primed. Now it doesn't look like a lot of parts, but it they're just so dang fiddly. I mean, fiddly is really the right word for it. They're just so... You have to be very patient with it. It's almost like building a watch. You know, you're approaching that level of intricacy. So, I'll grab this one more time. So this was my first attempt at our Batpod here from the Dark Knight, which I really like that series of movies. And for the most part, I mean, there are some things like these handlebars are really uneven, and he kind of looks like he's leaning sideways. But for the most part, I feel it's a good first attempt. Nowhere near perfect. Now the second one I'm going to build is not going to have Batman on it, which in some ways will make this easier because if you put the Batman figure, which you have to buy separately, if you buy the Batman figure and you've got to try to figure out how to integrate it, you know, with the handlebars, so he's holding the handlebars, so it's like I said, fiddly, but mostly happy with the end result. I think the second one's going to go a lot better. So I will do step by step on the assembly. So I didn't do it on this one just because, again, still getting my my bearings on making the videos like this. But I will do that on the next one. We will have step by step. And I'm thinking the structure is going to be follow the instructions in their steps and paint. You know, there's some stuff that you paint as you go. So I'm thinking that's going to be how these videos are going to work out. So anyway, here's the Batpod. Thanks for joining me. And stay tuned. We'll have more videos to come. Thank you for joining me.